Alright, what's going on, people? G Funky 84 here, and I'm back to do the post fight. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Austin Trout. Hell of a fight, man. Good fight. First things first, before I get into the breakdown of the fight, I want to say that to everybody that came to my channel on my prediction video, I got a lot of hate from a lot of the hardcore fanboys of Canelo. You guys don't get shit from me because you guys were talking a lot of shit about Trout, about how he was nothing, about how he was a bum, about how he was about to get knocked out. You guys don't know shit about boxing. The people that I want to thank are the real Canelo fans who came to my channel and left their honest and true breakdowns of the fight and how they thought it was going to play out. You guys, hey, I appreciate it. Keep coming back with the boxing talk. I love it. Like I always say, I love talking boxing with you guys. Whether I'm right or wrong, and obviously I was wrong in this one because Canelo gets the win. Second thing I want to mention is that I had a lot of questions about Canelo Alvarez coming into this fight. A lot of them, and I needed some answers to them. And I got my questions answered. He definitely improved on his game. The power was there. I questioned his power because I hadn't seen him really fight a big super welterweight like he did last night in Trout, until last night, I should say. And he hurt Trout, knocked him down in the 7th round with a beautifully timed right hand. And defensively, he improved a ton. I mean, he had some very good head movement. He was bobbing and weaving. He showed that he could make a lot of improvements, and he's a hell of a fighter, man. And I'm not jumping on his bandwagon or anything like that. I don't, because like I said, I don't have a favorite fighter. Trout's not my guy. Canelo's not my guy. Neither one of these guys are someone that I'm rooting for. When I'm watching the fight, I'm just watching it. I'm not cheering. I'm not yelling for this guy or yelling for that guy. I try to stay in the neutral position and just watch the fight and tell you what I think. And that's exactly what I did last night. So, another thing I want to get out the way real quick. This open scoring, man. This thing has got to go, man. I mean, was it me or did it just really suck all the drama out of this fight? Because whether you think Trout won, whether you think Canelo won, I think most real boxing fans thought that this fight was a lot closer than the judges had it. And then once those official scores were read to the fighters, it just sucked everything out of the fight. It really sucked the drama out of the fight. I mean, going into the last round, I'm like, well, Trout is so far down on these guys' card that, he's going to need a knockout. And it was pretty clear at that point that he wasn't going to knock Canelo out. So it's like the drama's gone. Like Canelo, he doesn't have to fight hard because he knows he's winning. Trout has to try to fight hard because he knows he's losing. And, we knew he wasn't going to knock, like I said, we knew he wasn't going to knock him out at that point. So it just really ruined the fight for me. I would rather have them read those ridiculous scorecards without me knowing it, beforehand. It would have made it just a little bit more exciting. I think it would have made these guys fight even better than they did, and they fought a hell of a fight, both of them. So, what I saw in the fight, like I said, I seen Canelo make a lot of improvements, and I think that even the most hardcore Canelo fanboy has to admit that Canelo had a ton of respect for Trout's ability and his boxing skills in the ring, because he has never fought like that before. Canelo has never came into the ring showing those kind of boxing abilities, the head movement, the bobbing and weaving, the good timing. He's never fought like that, and it was because, like I said, he really respected Trout's boxing ability in the ring. He knew what he was up against. And all credit goes to Canelo because he not only did he train hard, obviously you could tell he was in tremendous shape, both of these guys, but he prepared himself, mentally, and he really improved thinking wise in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in there just trying to run through this guy, bust him up, and knock him out like some of you people thought. No, he sat back, took his time. He made Austin Trout come forward a lot of the night, which really made Trout uncomfortable. You could tell he didn't like doing that because he likes to fight off the back foot. But with that said, that's because of what Canelo was doing in there. He made him come forward. Trout did a lot of things that I didn't want him to do, and I said it in my prediction video. Like, he gave up his height a lot of the time, and he definitely was leaning forward and things like that. Leaning right into Canelo's range, and he has nobody to blame but himself for that. He knew what he had to do. He knew that if he could have just stayed on the outside, he could have possibly outpointed him. But with the way the judges had it, it was really, he had to win 11 rounds out of 12 to get a split decision here. Let's just be honest about it. Scoring was ridiculous, but he did make a lot of mistakes, and Canelo made him pay for it, man, big time. As for Canelo, like I said, he showed a lot of ring intelligence, but the mistakes that he made was that he gave away a lot of rounds, man. There was a lot of rounds where he did nothing for the entire round, and then he would explode and land one or two good shots, and then it's like, where, can you really give him the round? It's a hard fight to score, man. It's very hard. A lot of the rounds were like that, especially going into the later rounds. It was pretty clear. I don't know if Canelo got tired or what, but that's something that he always does, and I had mentioned that in my prediction video, that he takes a lot of time off during the fight, and that's something that, I don't know if it's a stamina issue or what, but that's what made the fight so hard to score, was because Trout was staying busy. He was throwing his jab, touching him every now and then with a good jab into the body with little stuff. Not hard punches. Obviously, Canelo was landing the much more harder shots throughout the fight. But then Trout's there touching him constantly, So it's like, who do you give the round to there? It's hard. Now, most people that I've talked to, I had a lot of people here because it was my birthday. I had mentioned that also on my prediction video. It was my birthday, so I had family members over and the people who I like to watch boxing with. And we talked about the fight afterwards because it was back and forth. And, people were saying, well, I like this style, so I picked this guy. Or, I like this style, so I picked this guy. Now, here's where I have a problem with that, If you like a certain style, going into the fight, you're obviously going to look for any way for that fighter with that style to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I used to do. I was guilty of that myself. When I was a teenager, my early 20s, I would get, I had the guys that I liked and their styles, so I would just look for any way for them to win the fight if it went 12. You know what I'm saying? If it was a close fight. See, I don't do that anymore. I don't find myself, wanting to see this certain style win the fight. Like I said, I stayed neutral during the fight. I'm not cheering for anybody during the fight. I'm not clapping my hands like, come on, this guy, come on, this guy. Just because I picked Trout to win doesn't mean I was cheering him on during the fight. And I certainly wasn't. I'm watching a good fight. I'm keeping my emotions out of it and trying to give a good, honest score when I come back to YouTube and let you guys know what happened. As for my scorecards, man, like I said, I had the fight a draw, man. It was really, I honestly think that both of these guys, to me, fought so well last night that I don't think either one of them deserved to have a first loss, Either way. But with that being said, the fight was so close and it could have went either way. If you had it for Trout by 1 or 2 points, hey, I have no problem. If you had it for Canelo for 1 or 2 points, I have no problem. If you have it a draw, I have no problem. But if you have it 119 to 108 like Stanley Christodoulou, that's where I have a problem with you. You have no idea what you're watching, and you should never fucking watch a fight again, okay? Because that was not the case. Nobody dominated this fight. It was a good, close, competitive fight. And, this is what happens when you put two good young champions together in the ring, man. This type of stuff happens. You're going to get a loss when you take on the best of the best in the division, man. Eventually, you're going to run into somebody who's just as good, if not just a little bit better than you. And they're gonna beat you on it. And any given night, they could beat you, So, yeah, those were pretty much my thoughts on the fight. Like I said, you Canelo fans who came to my channel really trying to talk some shit to me because I picked Trout to win. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this guy, so I don't understand why he got so pissed off because I picked Trout to win. It's not a big deal, win or lose. I'm always back, and I'll always come back, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? But you guys out there, you guys know who you are, who came and left, who gave me some great feedback on the fight or before the fight. On my prediction video, you guys, I love talking box with you. Hopefully you guys come back and talk to me, on my post-fight video. I would love to, strike up the debate whether you think Canelo won or Trout won. Either way, it was a good fight. Now, as for the future, I don't think that this loss really hurts Austin Trout. He'll be back. He was very, very humble after the fight. He said, hey, he was the better man. He didn't cry, he didn't rain on Canelo's parade. Nothing. He gave full credit to Canelo, which is one reason why I think some of you fans should learn to appreciate a guy like Austin Trout. He's a nice guy, man, and not to mention he can box, man. He got some good boxing skills, So, I think he'll definitely get a belt again in the division. Whether there's a rematch or not, I'm not sure. The fight should not be in Texas. That's a definite for sure, because those motherfuckers have no idea how to score boxing down there in Texas. None. But as for Canelo, in my opinion, I think that the Mayweather fight is closer to happening now than it ever was. Just because he won the fight, like I said, it was close, man. It could have been either way. But I think it's going to happen, definitely. I mean, look at the crowd that he brought there. I mean, there's almost 40,000 people, and I guarantee you about 30,000 of them were for Canelo, So he's got a strong fan base. He's showing a lot of improvement. Every single time I see him come out, he's done something to improve his game. But this was just, like I said, he improves every time I see him, but from, I want to say maybe his last 4 fights, it was like maybe one thing that he improved on. Tonight he improved on a lot of different things, and he really impressed me. And these were the things that I needed to know about this guy. I know that some of you guys thought that it was something personal that I had against the guy. No, I don't have anything personal against Canelo. Like I said, I don't know this guy. I've never met him. Never shook his hand, never seen him with my own eyes, But the reason why I had made a couple videos, kind of ranting about him is because I wanted to see him do better. I wanted to see him fight better competition. And I finally got it. And I finally know where the guy is at this point. And he's definitely one of the best in the division. No doubt about it. He's earned his spot now. Definitely. And all credit to him, man. He's still really young. And he's getting better and better, I would like to see the Mayweather fight if that's going to happen. I really, honestly, like I said earlier, I really think that it's going to happen now more than ever. I really think that especially if Mayweather looks good against Guerrero, this fight I think is going to happen in September. It's going to be a huge event. Everybody's going to want to watch it. There's going to be, it's going to be going back and forth big time, but with the fans. But I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a good fight. Going to be a hell of a show. And yeah, that's it. So that's my post fight right there. You guys let me know what you think. If you disagree with me or not, I'm always welcome to you as long as you keep it to boxing. I have no problem if you disagree with me at all. But just keep it to boxing, okay? And yeah, that's about it. So you guys go ahead and drop your comments, do whatever you gotta do. G-Funk here, and I'm out.